what a wacky day it has been already, phone-wise. My goodness. My goodness, my Guinness. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, it is okay. It's still morning. We don't have Wi-Fi, so there's that. So I'm on my phone, like doing all the things. But yay, I was able to get onto the TikTok, because of the thing. Hey, AC Wild, happy day to you as well. And Dawn and Allie and people as they're tuning in. We've got all these things we were plugging in, trying to see if the YouTubes and stuff were working. Yeah, there was crazy storms here. Everything's okay with us, but there have been some branches going on, and I think it knocked out some neighbors. So this is funny. Yeah, I usually have my computer like on next to me, and but it's just on and there's nothing I can look at. But man, talk about a habit. So hey, nice to see everybody. So we get Who's Your Mama and Blonde Cheryl and Allie Girl and people tuning in. Friday. It is Friday. I'm practicing remembering what day of the week and day of the month it is. It's Friday, July 11th, 2025, 11 a.m. Eastern. Well, technically 11:02. The birthday celebration was very fun, so thank you. Yeah, it was a combo. It was a business thing and then a work thing because he had a gig. But then we, of course, are always going to put in some celebration. So yeah, so it was kind of neat. I will share with you. One of the things I realized that we happily spend more time doing when we travel is seeing people we haven't seen in a while, even though sometimes it feels like yesterday, but it could have been last summer. And also just not shopping around as much. I had a couple of things I was specifically looking for, one of which I got, which I was very excited about. The other one I tried on and I didn't like it. And I realized I used to do a lot more thrifting than back in the day. We actually went to a thrift store that we used to go to quite a bit on the way home. Yeah, good morning, and everyone, happy TGIF, Gen X with a J. So good, we have one more gig. Okay, AC Wild, let's get into this. So before I even jump in, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. And what I want you to remember, because it's where all the good stuff is Destination Decluttered. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok, on YouTube, and DestinationDecluttered.com. Happy Friday, Judy. So AC Wild is saying, do you have suggestions for helping an elder semi-hoarder? My mother clings to stuff. Yeah, so this is something that a lot of us are involved with. Many of us are children of people who cling on to things, and therefore many times that's how we got to be clinger-oners. What I would offer is a couple of things in no particular order. First of all, though, I think is the most important one, is start with your heart. Start with your heart. Don't come in it as adversarial, but coming in it with your heart open, truly wanting to help your mom. I think what can be really beneficial for that would be to also to listen to her, to ask her, and again, ask questions, but in love and not in kind of accusing and judgmental. Ask her to tell you the stories of the things that she's clinging on to. If your mom likes to read and she's open to, you're going to really have to move at a pace that works for her for decluttering, trying to help somebody. And I will just share with you personally that my mom, and it's funny because when I have gone and been decluttering her home with her permission, let me emphasize that, I have come across evidence of me in the 80s, 90s, and many of the 2000s and beyond, up till about 2021 or so when she turned 80 years old, evidence of me trying to help and having done that for her. But really ask your mom what she wants help with. You maybe have your own idea. You're kind of looking at that from your own perspective of saying, okay, when you pass away, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So I'm not saying don't make that plan, okay? But what I'm saying is if you truly want to help her, have a conversation with her about that. Be patient, move at her speed. Literally, we were at my mother's 80th birthday celebration, and after that, I would always say, if you ever need any help with the house, this is what I do. I'm really good at it. I'd love to help you. That's when I remember her saying, well, I guess, yeah, I could probably use some help. And boom, the next month I was up there for a week, and I spent a good couple of years going up there pretty much once every month. Okay? So I just want to offer to you, be patient, show up in love, work at a pace that works with your mom. If she doesn't want to do it, honor that. It can be tough, and saying, yes, what would you like help with? Because that's when you say, and I even say that to my one-on-one clients. It doesn't matter what I think is the priority. It's what she is struggling with. What is something that you can help her with what she's struggling with that would make her feel better? Listen to her and honor what she says. It may not align with what you think is important, but on the side too, please start making a plan for yourself to kind of look around the house and assess the things that you would want, if anything. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's very hard to help my mother. She gets mad at me, but wants her cleaning lady to help her. Okay. You know what? And I am not gonna, family can be wicked judgy. Family knows you, and there's a different dynamic between you as being somebody in the family. I mean, this is why I help people with clutter, because I am not the person who's directly involved with them. Okay? If it's easier for her mom, for her to get the help, the cleaning lady to help her, maybe have the cleaning lady help her. That's when you would get into the situation of casing the joint, as I like to say, like some sort of, yeah, see, I'm a criminal, see, right? But casing the joint and seeing the things that you think are worth monetary value, that if your mom, because my mom did, declutter some stuff that I know both sentimentally and also kind of monetarily that some of us in the family might have wanted, And yeah, I mean, AC Wild says, funny, my family thinks I'm crazy and aggressive, and it's terrible. Yeah, people have a different opinion of you than it may actually be yourself. So note that going in, that they have their preconceived notions that seriously could have started when you were in your teenage years. Who the heck knows? This is when, AC Wild, I would say to you in all seriousness, this goes back to coaching and saying, what do I want? If you get clarity on your destination, as I point to the little road trippy thing behind me, if you get more clarity on what you want to happen in that situation and write these things down, what do I want to keep from mom's house, if anything? Write that stuff down and ask her if you can have it sooner rather than later. Get clear on what you don't want. So if she offers it to you, you can lovingly say thank you, but no. Or you take it temporarily, but you leave it in a staging area so you don't feel obligated to bring it into your house. What do you want to happen with the clutter while your mom is in the house? Does she want to age in place? And then maybe you're setting up the house to be safe for her to walk around? Or maybe you're wanting to sell and she's cool with that. So yeah, and seriously, this is the thing that has allowed me to not lose my shit when I've helped my mother with this stuff for a number of years, but also that your energy, and this is a little bit woo-woo, but I will hit you with it, that this is the life coaching part of it. The life coaching part is somebody is going to smell it when you get judgy. And when I get tired up there, I start with my heart, but then I get tired and I get frustrated, and I know that I'm running out of gas, and that's when I get judgy, and that's when I threw away a pair of her shoes, that out of the 200 pairs of shoes she had, she was missing that one pair of shoes, and I had to go, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I threw them away because I was so pissed at you. So the more you can stay in that kind of centered heart space of truly wanting to be of service to your mom and yourself, yeah. So the point was to make my mom's house more livable, functional, and welcoming for her. But was that her concept of what livable, functional, and welcoming was? Was that your idea of what would be more comfortable and more functional? Write down what you think the idea is, but please get her input. Even when you're doing things that you think, kind of ask her permission. You wouldn't want it. Again, put yourself in her shoes. Can you imagine somebody coming into your house and being like, no, get rid of that. That's crap. And I mean, I've done that. I have. I'm like, oh my God, no. Here, we can buy you another one, And I get you're coming from a good place, but sometimes people don't get that you're coming from that, and they think you're judging even when you're coming with clean, energy, right? And Gina is saying, my mom would always say, if you haven't used it for a year, give it away or throw it away. Yes, and here's the funny thing, Gina, on the flip side, Gina's saying the mom probably gave away a lot of stuff, and maybe she gave away some of your stuff that you cared about, so maybe you're reacting and saying, my mom has new clutter, I'm the one that keeps things, but not anymore. Yeah. So I say put yourself in her shoes, even if it's the shoes that you threw away. Would you want somebody coming in and bossing you around in your house and saying, get rid of that, no, we're going to do this? Really, you don't do that, because you wouldn't want somebody else to do it for you. And Tracy, the Bionic Woman, is saying this elder care professional has seen the emotional damage this does to an elder. It is their environment. Yeah, so treat it with respect, but I say this too. While you're doing that, okay, so see, AC, your mom and my mom were hanging up clothes. My mother and your mother, my mother probably punched your mother right in the nose. What color was the blood, right? And my mom didn't grow up with a lot of money. My mother didn't have a lot of shoes. And then throughout her life, she and my dad did much better than any other generation of their family. So they had a shit ton of money, and they kind of tried to make up for lost time, still treating, the poor kid that she felt like she was inside. Yeah, and it really is a journey. But the more you can realize that she's struggling with the clutter in her own way. But the other thing I say to you, AC, and anybody listening here, please, is you can keep your own sanity in this situation by having that notebook on the side saying, what do I want to do? Like when she is gone, when she's here, we will deal with things this way, but when she is gone, we have a plan. And when you are losing your sense, because Leslie M. said, yeah, it was tough for my mom to acknowledge she needed help because that represented a final chapter. Yeah. And seriously, you guys, how many people do not call me up for a consultation? How many people do not, there are numbers of people. I've got thousands of people who are on my mailing list, and, tens of thousands of people who follow me on TikTok. And yet very few want to take the next step to say, I need help. People, I know I want to remain independent and until the very, very, very last moment. I don't want to have to depend on somebody else for things. It can be tough for people, And so make a plan for yourself when it's done. I've talked about it with my sister. And, we've talked about different things, but even then, she and I may have a different point of view. And I want to be really clear about what works for me. So you may be able to get some of that, what do I want, out of your body and out of your energy, because you have it written down so that when you show up, you don't have to worry about what's going to happen after mom. You can show up and say, right now for you, what can I do to help you? Okay? Yeah. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. AC is saying, it's funny. I had no idea this would be such a good place to talk about helping an elder declutter. Well, you know what? For me, it is, because Beth Decluttering Life Coach, Destination Decluttered, but also, at least on my FYP on TikTok, I am meeting a lot of people who are around my age and around my life situation. It's not my niece and nephew dancing and making up dances and videos like they were when TikTok first started. But there's a lot of people in our generation who are struggling with our own clutter, struggling with the clutter that is from the generation above us, our clutter. And then we've got people too who have kids who say, hey, I'm out living my life, but all my stuff's in my mom's basement. Yeah. And AC, I get it. Saying the funny part is I got her started on collecting some of her stuff. It was fun. Yes. And I've been a collector too. So I want to offer to you this. Collecting as a verb can be fun. Having a collection can kind of be fun, but then caring for a collection, maintaining a collection, kind of not as fun. But going out, making a date, having a, oh, we're going to go thrifting. Let's see what we can find. Let's have lunch together. Let's have a shared experience. That can be fun. But then if you buy stuff, then the house fills up. Yeah. Now Gina is offering, have mom do a garage sale and have her pick to what sell, and she can use that money to treat herself. That is an idea, but I will say this too. I also, a number of years ago, helped a friend from high school help her mom clear out the house that she was living in because she was going to assisted care. Her mother did not even want to put any saleable items out onto the end of the driveway for people to take for free because it made her nervous system activated. So what I would do is you can suggest things to people, but again, pay attention to what's going to feel comfortable to your mom. Work within her comfort zone. When she's out, I'm going to be opening up the doors and saying, please take this stuff. I don't want to deal with it. But while she's here, work at her pace. Show up in love. And when you find your love and patience energy is the gas tank is going down, then you say, okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up for today. This was really good, and we'll try again the next time. Okay? I hope that helps. Okay? Yeah. And this is a good place for this. So AC, as you try things, let us know how it goes. As you want suggestions, come back. And this is a cool group. Many of us are going through this. Okay? Yeah. Now I did see, who was it? I think Kat Roby. I got in it. Kat Roby has got 20 minutes, scheduled best blinders, working on 3 piles of paper to arrange files and make tax before a meeting at 8:20. So you're right before. So notice as I'm helping you, you're helping yourself. Good stuff. Good morning, Monk. Yeah. And so everybody's different. Everybody is different with clutter. I am different with clutter than my husband is. I am different than my neighbors and my friends, my sister, my mother, my dad. So we all have our own thoughts and feelings. Our head and our heart really affects what we hold on to physically with our hands. Okay? I love this. Monk says, I got my very cluttered side table cleaned this morning. Awesome. Wonderful. Yeah, and I love this. What is it? Hey, there we go. I love it. Gina says, I keep a collection to a minimum of 4 items, so don't overwhelm the collection. Set a goal of only 4 items. I like that. Yeah, 1 thing can be fun, 2 things, 3 things, you've got a collection. And yeah, keep the good stuff. Now, I love it. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is tuning in. She says she has the sound off because she's in the car with the family in North Carolina. She's decluttered some dodgy stuff, or doggy. I read it as dodgy stuff. Like, oh, that's dodgy. Doggy stuff at your daughter's. Yeah. Oh, see? And this is, okay, so Annalisa says, my neighbor said she didn't have a garage sale. She had a garage fail. I'm not good at sales. Yeah. And the funny thing is sometimes I will share this with you, having done a garage sale, it can really be, unless you have stuff that people want, it can be a lot of effort for not a lot of return. Okay? Yeah. And if you're not good at sales, if you don't want it, as Annalise is saying, they stress me all the way out, then don't stress yourself all the way out. Just donate the stuff. Save your time and energy for something else. Okay? Now, AC is saying, I can't tell you how hard it is to not worry about my mother's environment. Sheesh, I've got to grow. No, you know what? Your worrying is probably coming from a heart-centered place. You're worrying about your mom is you don't want her to trip and fall. You want to be able to easily find things if you need to put her in a home, or even now, like seriously. And I've written this down before, and I'm going to write it down. I've got it somewhere, but it can't hurt to write down things again. Like literally cemetery plot. It's grim to talk about, but I know where my dad's gravestone is, but I don't know what I would need to do if I needed to prove paperwork when my mom dies, because my friends are dealing with that right now with some of their parents and people, so easily being able to find the important paperwork. easily being able to find those sentimental items that you want. Now, so I get it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I love it. Leslie is following Kat's scheduled Beth blinders. That's what they call it, people. I don't make this stuff up, but I offer to you. I'm here on TikTok Live for the next 40 minutes. Set a timer. Set a timer for a certain amount of time as I'm there chatting with you in the background, and start to do something. Laundry and packing for your San Francisco trip. One of the things I want to help you with, Kate Kager. Kate, nice to see you. My mom saves every piece of paper that comes in. I am doing her paperwork trying to find it. Yeah, me too. Luckily, I've been able to change my mom's habits a little bit by basically decreasing the amount of paper that comes into her house. So I know what it's like. There we go. Now let me help you out with this, because Anastasia says every day I say I'm saying this is clean out day and then nothing. What that strikes me as, Anastasia, and I think you know where I'm coming from because we talk about that word down. Oh, and this is going to be kind of fun too. From your crown on down, scan your body, seeing how you're feeling. Maybe you're not feeling good, so you're saying every day I'm going to do it and I got nothing. Chunk it down. Instead of saying this is clean out day, a day is too big. It can be overwhelming. I'm going to spend all day clearing out. First thing, when I see that, I want to just go do something else. How about Anastasia? How about saying I'm going to declutter for the next 40 minutes? Maybe even the next 2 hours, because I'm going to do a YouTube live after this TikTok live. Maybe you and I can hang out for the next, hour and a half or so, and you can do some cleaning out and just chunk it down. Chunking it down helps you get started. Okay? Gina is saying good music can get you motivated to start. Crank it and say, let's get started one day at a time. And then you can sing the one day at a time theme song, right? Oh, Gina. Okay, excuse me. Oh, yeah. You bring out my motivation for others with tips. Yes, so let's not just be motivating other people. Let's do this stuff myself. One of the things that got me motivated this morning to do stuff was seriously writing down even the most mundane, small things. I've really chunked it down. Weigh myself, write it down, take a walk, empty the dishwasher, take a shower. So maybe what you do, it was Anastasia, is write down while we're here hanging out, what are some things you can do today that are small little chunks that you will feel better about doing something and not everything. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, teacher, having a rough morning? Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. No. Everybody makes mistakes. Why can't you? I know there's a song there. Was it Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street or somebody? Right? Mistakes are an opportunity to learn. Whoops, that didn't work out. What can I do differently next time? Okay? So, don't beat yourself up. We are here. All right? Now, I'm going to go through some of these things. I love it. And it totally is empathy and compassion. Seahorse says, I live in an 1800s house, Greek revival with no closets. Ooh, well then, you know what? You're going to have to get creative. Yeah. How are you going to store? Storage doesn't have to be a closet. A closet, though, is what I call kind of hidden storage. You're hiding things out of sight. So where else can you put your clutter or the stuff you want to keep that isn't right in your face? Under beds, in the eaves, in the basement, in a shed. Getting creative about it. Now, I love this. P says, my friend adopted a dog and my duplicates are going over there. Yeah, I love it. And there we go. Let's Go Lex says, I've thought about having a garage sale by donation prices. Lex, I'll offer to you. I saw somebody here on TikTok mention how they did that. It was kind of, it was like a donation-based thing. They put it out there and they did some QR codes. So there's ways of doing that. Okay? Yeah. Now, here's a fun thing. I want to point this out. Yeah. Now, Laura says, I have been doing a great job earlier this year taking stuff to the thrift store for money, but lately I'm just donating because I want to get it out fast. Okay? And this is the thing. This is what I think about when I think of decluttering. When you're beginning your decluttering, it's just like, I would say, losing weight, or for some reason I think of carving a turkey. Think of Thanksgiving. When you're first cutting off the turkey, It's easy to get the meat off the bone. Tony Floramos, where the meat falls off the bone. Anybody in the Boston area? It's easy to do the decluttering at the beginning because you do have a lot of crap. You do have a lot of stuff that it's easy to get rid of. As you get rid of that kind of surface level stuff, you start getting it closer to the bone. You start getting closer to the stuff that's a little bit more difficult to sort out, and you have a little bit more feelings about it. Okay, so it's almost like you can be flying down the highway, but as sooner you get to your destination, you're taking little local roads. Okay, so notice that. Yay, I love it. Kat Roby scheduled her wins, and Kate Kager is using some of the tricks that you taught me, Beth. Yes, here's a trick. Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that you are taking advantage of the skills you learned while we were coaching, because that's the thing. You know, to me is why I love showing up doing what I'm doing, because this is a skill that will last you throughout your life. This will ensure that you don't turn into one of those old people that somebody else is judging them because they have a hard time getting rid of their clutter. Now, the other thing too I was going to mention, AC, and you may read this yourself, and if your mom is a reader, this may benefit her, but there's that book. If I could get on the internet on my computer, I would, but it's called the Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning, and it's all about taking responsibility for your own stuff and cleaning out your stuff so you don't leave it to people. That may help you read it. Get it out of the library, though. Get it out of the library. Do not buy it, because then if you buy it, even if you read it, then it just adds to your clutter. Okay? So yeah, there are resources out there. Okay? Now, I love this. Okay, I'm picking up with some stuff. I love it. Annalisa says, my oldest kid told me, I notice the garage gets a little bit better every time we work on it. See? And that really shows, that is an example of sticking with something and not giving up when you're not getting immediate satisfaction. Noticing that there is a little bit of return and a little bit of return and a little bit of return, and then you notice it. Nobody loses 20 pounds just like that unless you chop off a limb. But you lose it. An ounce at a time equals a pound, and then a pound equals 2, and then 2 equals 3, and then 3 equals 5. I've lost 5 pounds. Incremental. Okay? Incremental. Okay? All right. Now, Ivy says, I hit rock bottom when my son told me my clutter was affecting his mental health. I'm cleaning room by room. Yeah. And I will say this, Ivy, I bet your clutter affects your mental health too. It really does. Now, everybody has their own tolerance for it. I have a very low tolerance for it, though if somebody looked at my house, they'd be like, really? You have a lot of stuff in this house. But compared to the clutter in my mother's house, this place is a Zen garden, Yes, and Laura is offering too. I make sure I put small goals on my to-do list because it feels good to cross it off. Yes, it does. Feel good. Do things to make things feel good. Okay? Okay. Interesting. German Maid is offering. Germany doesn't have closets. We use Schranks. I love it. I've never heard of that. I will have to Google that. Awesome. Yep. And there we go. I used a room for vanity and storage. There we go. All sorts of good stuff. Now, Carla Jane, nice to see you. All right, Marietta in Jersey says, how do I get started when I'm in a super depressive spiral? Marietta, okay, you don't. Now, I'm being kind of silly when I say that, but what I offer to you is this, is when you're in a super depressive spiral, that's a really bad time to even start anything. So what we're going to do first is we're going to stop the super depressive spiral. One of the fun things you can do is notice your spiral. Does it go clockwise? Does it go counterclockwise? Is it a spiral like a cyclone? Or is it like a spiral like this? Is it like this? Do the opposite. Do the opposite. So what I mean by that is calming down your physical body and calming down, slowing down your nervous system before you start anything. This goes to everybody. We've got almost 100 people here on this TikTok Live, and seriously, these are the steps. And I use the word down a wicked lot. So if you want to hydrate today, seriously, grab a glass of water, and every time I say the word down, just take a sip. It's like doing shots, but it's for good and not evil, okay? So, Marietta, first of all, check in with your human physical body, just the physical. How are you feeling from your crown on down? Down. From the top of your head down to the tips of your toes, scan your body. How are you feeling? Do you have a headache? How's your nervous system? We'll get more into that later, but just notice how you're feeling. Are you hungry? Do you have to poop? Are your clothes comfortable? Do you have an ache somewhere? If your body's not feeling good right now, everybody do this. Do a body scan. Anything that lights up red, like alert, there's something here, do something right now to make yourself feel better physically. Whatever it is. Okay? So physical, always start with the physical, because that stuff's usually an easy solve. You know, going to the bathroom, taking a headache pill, drinking a sip of water. But then, when you say the super depressive spiral, that, my friend, is your nervous system. Now, I call it your heart. My hand always seems to go here. My hands seem to go here. So put your hand down on your heart area. Okay? And then, this is where the word down is going to come in to help you. You're going to slow down the spin. Slow it down. Maybe we're going to start to imagine the spin going the other way. Maybe what you do is you quiet down your environment. You sit down. You put your feet down on the ground. You make sure your shoulders are down. You breathe down to the bottom of your lungs, and then you slow down your exhale. You soften down your jaw. You slightly, if it feels comfortable, softly close down your eyes. You slow down how you speak to yourself. And repeat this until your nervous system stops swirling in a super depressive spiral and starts to slow down that spiral. And maybe it's slower and slower. And maybe the spiral has stopped. Do all the downs until your spiral has stopped. And then, Marietta, in Jersey, what I would offer is, again, you're not even getting started yet. These are the preps. This is you making sure that the check engine lights in your dashboard are not flashing. Take care. Make sure your tanks are full, or at least it's got something in it. And then, before you even start moving your body, get your brain in touch with your head in touch with your hand, and start to write things down. And what I like to start with is the destination decluttered. What are you aiming for? What are you aiming for, and what are some things you can do to get there? And write those things down. Okay? I hope that helps. Yep. And notice also, as I'm doing this, even AC Wild, who came in asking for help, she's given help too. That's why we're here. We're kind of like a clearinghouse, you know? There we go. I love it. Love Bears All Gifts. Picked up a couple of new notebooks this week per your suggestion. I, too, am going to head over to Staples because I think they were about 45 cents or so. And yes, and then start small. Start small. Okay? Yay. Good. I'm glad our folks are showing up to help the newbies, right? Because that's why we're all here. We're here to help. Even if we are struggling with something, we can always offer somebody a kind word, a helping hand. Okay? Because that's what we do here. All right? Now, Ivy is even saying, now that the common areas are clean, I don't feel stressed and have more time to relax and be happy. Yeah. Sandra D is offering, clutter is expensive. Yeah. You've probably paid money for some of the stuff you have that's now clutter. It spends our emotional and mental energy and ultimately costs time and money. Yeah, and I will say that speaks to your head, but you got to feel things in your heart. Yeah. Now, this is interesting. Annalisa has noticed, And I'm catching up on some comments here. So I may be tardy to the party, and you guys have already talked about this in the comments. But for those of you who are just listening, Annalisa is saying they realized we had our mother-in-law and dad's items as well as their own. One of the downs you can do when you write things down is also chunking things down, and I want to use categories. Categories. Name of. People who've owned. The stuff in our house. Oh, that isn't even mine. That's stuff we got from mom. That's stuff we got from my mother-in-law. Putting things into categories is another way of chunking things down. So you're not looking at the big, haystack. You can sort things out, and then a smaller stack is easier to start with. Okay? All right. And Marietta, if you're in a deep grief hole from losing your sister, give yourself time to grieve. There we go. Kara's okay. Give yourself time to grieve. Do not deny that step. Okay, but don't stay stuck in it. Give yourself time to heal, and don't put any pressure on yourself to declutter until you're feeling better for it. Okay? In slightly happier news, we're going to kind of swim over to the shallow but the good area. Kara's garden. Kara's dad has a photo show going. So she's headed to Winchester to her dad's show because he's decluttering his stuff, his photos and things, but she's going to get a few stuff done. Yeah. Gabrielle is saying, Beth, why does my bedroom seem to be the dumping ground, but the rest of my house is organized? I'll tell you why. Because your bedroom is pretty much one of the private places in your house. The surface area, the public spaces are the ones that people will probably judge you on. That's again, that kind of superficial, like the center, what is it? I haven't coached in about a couple of days because I was away. Surface, stored, sentimental, but thinking of the places that are not the public areas of your home. That'd be kind of weird if you thought somebody was walking into your bedroom in your house, right? Unless you gave them permission. So sometimes keeping things decluttered in the public areas is good, but then sometimes we put the stuff in our bedrooms or some of the secondary rooms because they're a little bit more difficult, that we need to spend some time and energy thinking about and feeling about what to do with them. Okay? Yeah. So I hope that was helpful. Yeah. You know what? So, okay. Yeah, Grease counseling. Yes, okay. I love that our cool crew right here. And we do have a cool crew of people. New people, always welcome. Familiar names show up, and we're all here helping you out. Yeah. So, Marietta, if you're thinking about her all day and don't see a point to decluttering, but it just makes everything worse, pretend she's right there with you. Imagine her spirit sitting next to you and encouraging you. I bet she doesn't want to see you living in a place that's not feeling good. Okay? So, take care of yourself, and yes, take care of yourself. Judy says daily and weekly checklists for both of us and set some new expectations. Awesome. Yay. Good stuff, Judy. Yeah, the more we can really communicate with ourselves and other people, it's just a game changer. It really is. It really is. Yeah. Such good stuff. Yeah. It's so funny. Marietta says, I am aiming for hotel room tranquility. Yeah, many people use that as one of the hallmarks, because you will notice how you feel different in a decluttered hotel room. So write down, again, down being the word of the day, and the sip of water is, what is it about a hotel room that you like so much? Is it the space? Like, write down, I love that the bed is made every day. I love that I'm not tripping over things and there's no dust, that it smells nice, that I can open the window or turn on the AC as long, as dark as as cool as I want. Okay? Yeah. Aw, Carly Jane, we got such good people. Okay. Yep. So Lisa is saying, this clutter is depressing me so much, and physically I have a difficult time getting rid of it. I would offer to you, Lisa, okay? It's probably not the physical aspect of getting rid of it, but it's your heart. It's what you're thinking and feeling about the stuff. Physically, unless it's like, anvils and bowling balls or heavy stuff. Physically, it's not heavy, but emotionally and in your head and your heart, it can be. But it doesn't have to be. But notice, Lisa, notice that you have a category of stuff in your house. It's not all of the stuff in your house. There's some stuff in your house that's bumming you out, and there's some that's okay. Start to calm down your nervous system, quiet down, and then write down, how would you rather have things be? And write these things down. Writing it down makes it more real, and it gives you something to aim for. Okay? And this is what I do, Lisa, in case we've just met, and for new people here, Destination Decluttered here on TikTok, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach. My name's Beth. Here on TikTok, here on YouTube, and DestinationDecluttered.com website. On the website, really cool thing you can do, doesn't cost you any money, very low level kind of nervous system thing. Sign up for the free mailing list. The free mailing list gets you access to the schedule of when I show up on TikTok Live and YouTube Live, because they are scheduled, even if you just happened to scroll by me. The schedule is up from now until a week from now, and I still have things scheduled more often, so you'll know when to tune in. The mailing list also gives you a habit tracker. Mine's here. I missed a few days, but we've got a habit tracker. I also do one-on-one coaching, which is what Kate Kager mentioned earlier, and Carla and a number of people who I have coached in the past or I'm currently coaching also show up for these lives. We're here to help. Okay? So there we go. Yep. Seahorse says, oops, there we go. I love it. Okie Teacher says, since I'm struggling today, I've shortened my to-do list. Yes, do not expect yourself to do too much. All right? Here we go. I'm going to back up. Here we go. TikTok user one is using, finally repairing ceramic wind chimes that I love. Super glue not working. In the trash it goes. You gave it a try. Now you're feeling ready to trash it. Okay, Seahorse wants a combo home office and cello music area, so I will enjoy my space. I keep moving my computer. Yeah, isn't that cool? Find out where maybe you don't want the computer to be near your cello area, but move things until they feel right. Okay? Yeah. And there we go. We got somebody on the other side. Catherine has been busting it lately, and I feel busting makes me feel good. Just like Ghostbusters. Right? Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm determined to get out of my own way starting now. And we start every day. Every day is its own mini journey between when we wake up and when we go to sleep. And if we're lucky enough, we get to wake up the next day. Okay? You can totally love some of your stuff. This is when you get to discern. You get to separate the wheat from the chaff, as we say in my family. And I mean, look, I'm a decluttering life coach and I've got stuff in my house. I'm not saying you need to be empty and zen, but clutter isn't the good stuff. Clutter is the stuff that if you were out thrifting, you probably wouldn't pick it up again. That you would not buy it again. So allow yourself to have made, Okie Teacher was saying, beating herself up. A mistake is just an opportunity to learn what to do different next time. Think of Thomas Alva Edison and the light bulb. He did it wrong until right, but every time he did it, he learned how to do it better. Yes, Carla Jane says, some days success is putting two feet down on the floor, breathing down, making it to the bathroom, and then back to bed. Yeah. Now, Lisa, I don't have a newsletter, actually. I do not care to write in the typical typing form. The way I communicate is by video and almost like podcast, okay? So if you're interested, really what I do is these TikTok lives are recorded and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, and I do YouTube lives. And those are recorded. I also have done some more kind of formal videos in the past, but I'm not feeling those now, so I don't do them. But what I like is that connectivity. Even right now, I see that while we're not on the Wi-Fi is not fixed yet, but it says I have a good connection. And so I like to connect with the spoken word versus the written word. Okay? So also, I don't like to overwhelm and clutter up your mailbox. Okay? The neat thing is, Lisa, and a newsletter is old school. It just goes off from what I think you want to you. When we have these lives, you can ask me a question that's been bugging you and I can help you answer it. Okay? And the email list is really just to remind yourself of all the resources that you have. Yeah, it's destinationdecluttered.com. Yeah, and when I do send out an email, it really is just a reminder of, hey, I've updated this secret page on the website. These are when the TikTok lives are. These are when the decluttering parties are. I haven't even talked about decluttering parties because I'm not here to like market my stuff, but I keep on forgetting about it. But yeah, we have decluttering parties where if you're feeling alone when you're decluttering and you would like some companionship, no, we don't come to your house, but Zoom gives us an opportunity to each one of us be decluttering in our own homes and get to hang out with some people while we do it. We set a timer. You can turn your camera off. You don't even need to interact if you don't want. And Carla Jane, like mine, says we have a decluttering party Monday if y'all can come and want to have some fun. Yes. And the way you get the invitation to those decluttering parties is by signing up for the mailing list, the group, mailing list group. Okay, now the reason I do that is it's a cool group. There's no trolls. There's nobody who's in that group that doesn't want to be. And so it's a safe environment to meet people, and it's not some rando from the internet, right? Because we will smack down those people. So this is just a really cool community that has organically grown up around what I started to do a number of years ago. Decluttering life coaching, and this is how I do it. Okay, and I like the fact that I don't clutter up your mailbox, that I remind you of all the resources you have, and that it's fun for me. Now SRK is saying, why do I always wait till the last minute? I put the wait in there to get things done. Procrastination. Many reasons, I'm sure, but if I asked you, see, you're asking me a question, I would lovingly ask you, why do I always wait till the last minute to get things done? And I have procrastinated by things that bore me and I don't feel like doing it. I have procrastinated for fear of not doing a good job and being able to use the excuse of I didn't have enough time. So if anybody says it's not good and judges me on the quality of my work, it's because I can use the excuse, well, I only spent a little bit of time on it. So there's many reasons in your head and in your heart for why you may wait till the last minute. Also, I work with a lot of people with ADHD, and I have it in my family. So it may take you a long time to get started using the tools you currently have, to even get started in doing something, okay? And I want to offer to you that one of the great things to do is to chunk things down. It has revolutionized even the things I used to delay on and then scramble at the end and be freaking out. Do a little bit this day and a little bit that day and a little bit the next day and practice doing that. But notice your story. And this is where we kind of tune into the car radio, because I work in the car metaphor a lot, because I drive a lot. What is the story in your head that makes you feel like, no, I don't want to start that? It also could be that, frankly, the brain is not a good calendar keeper or timekeeper. That's why we have phones that have calendars, and we have timers, and we have watches, and we have clocks, because up here is a different place. This is where creativity happens, okay? So just a couple of things. Now, Leslie, I love that you say lives are great, which is true, but the parties are really effective to get advice as you encounter the roadblocks. Yes, it's testing out what I say on the lives, but doing it in real time. And then you can have a question. I'm there to answer. The party is connected through no. Actually, Lisa, let me help you with this. Okay. Lisa, the very first thing to do, easy peasy lemon squeezy, go to destinationdecluttered.com. That's my website. You'll see a picture of me. Scroll down to the bottom of that page. There's a place to sign up for the mailing list group, okay? When you do that, then you're kind of in the group. You get access to a page that nobody else gets access to except for the people in the group. And that's how you get invited to then there's the invites to the declutter party. The declutter party is private. It's on Zoom. So nobody else knows what you're doing except for the other people on the party. And you don't even need to turn on your camera or your microphone or interact at all unless you want to. Now, many people do. Maybe many people like the fact that it is one of the only ways you get to see what people's faces look like and hear them. Like, I know because I work with, Lisa, this is live, gets things a little bit distracted, but yeah. So mailing list, secret page, and then ta-da, all these free resources available to you, and an opportunity to sign up for paid coaching with me if you want, And what I want to offer is, like, that's how I know. This is really funny. I don't know if Carla is still on here. So Carla and I got to know each other last year when she started one-on-one coaching with me. I'm in Pennsylvania and I come from New England. You'll hear it in my voice if you listen carefully enough. Carla comes from Alabama. Okay? Carla sounds like she's from Alabama. This is a great thing. This was so funny. There was a woman on TikTok in the last couple of days who was like, "Can you guess where I'm from based on my accent?" And I was like, I could picture two people who I know from Alabama, and she sounded like them, and I was right. She was. Yeah. And Judy says she loves the declutter parties too. This is a really neat thing too. Declutter parties, I think this is really cool, and I'm psyched to share this with you. Declutter parties have always had kind of a ticket price. A ticket price because when you pay for things, you show up for something you bought differently than you show up for something that's free. If you sign up for something that's free and then you don't show up, no skin off your nose. However, if you paid for a ticket, you're more likely to show up to do the thing. Now, the declutter parties for the last 6 months or so, 50% of the ticket price has gone to donate to a local homeless shelter, women's homeless shelter in my area. So far, with just that 50%, we have donated. And I say we because it's not me. I mean, it's me, but it's also all y'all, as she would say, as Carla would say. We've already donated over $2,000 to this local women's homeless shelter. I decided, frankly, when the big beautiful bill, and I use that totally ironically because I think it's a big bullshit bill, when that passed, what could I do to help people who are really going to be struggling? So the declutter party tickets from July on, 100% of that ticket price, I will donate to the homeless shelter. Because there are people here who are not billionaires who are going to get hurt really bad, and I want to do something to help them. Okay? So I offer to you, if you want to help people and help yourself at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot good. The yes and. Yes, I can do something for myself and it can help somebody else. Then sign up for a declutter party, even if you're doing it, quote, for somebody else. So you can be struggling with something and still, if you've got a heart, anyone who have a heart could tell me I love you, right? You do have a heart. You can help yourself and help other people. And a rising tide floats all boats. And my heart goes out to the people with the floods. How can we help them? Maybe you show up at the TikTok, the declutter party and do that, and you donate to a cause that you care about. Getting used to putting your money in flow and your energy and, putting your money where your mouth is and your heart is, And Annalisa says, my town was affected by floods. Maybe I need to donate my clothes and other household items. Now, that's a really wonderful kind of heart-centered way to think about it. Harkening back to what we were talking about at the beginning here with AC Wild and her mom. Look for the helpers in your area and see and listen to what they need. Because sometimes people use natural disasters as kind of a reason to offload stuff and feel good about it. But then sometimes that makes the limited resources of volunteers have to sort through crap. So really, that's why I like to donate money. It's the most flexible thing out there because then the professionals know what the resources they need and they can go buy them. Yes, and 100% Kate Kager, Fred Rogers looks for the helper. I was raised on Channel 2 on PBS with, Sesame Street and the Electric Company and Mr. Rogers. Yes, and I am a helper. When things turn bad, I want to help other people. And so that's why I want to help you be a helper too. You can help yourself and say, you know what? And I'm helping somebody else. And it's a good feeling. All right? So decluttering is a wonderful way in which you can build your muscle to get rid of what you don't want. Now, I think of that on many levels. I think of it politically. I think of it, all the way down to, do I want this pancake mix that I used in the winter, but now it's going to expire before next winter? Okay? Yeah, and if Kate Kager says the flood areas are asking for money, so maybe what you do is, instead of sending them your stuff, then maybe you do donate your things, you donate your items, and you say, how much would I have gotten if I sold that stuff? And you donate that money to them. Maybe you do what somebody recommended earlier, which is put your stuff out on the lawn and put a donation thing, and then say donations are going to people that I'm going to donate this stuff to the Red Cross for the people who are affected by the floods. So pay attention, listen to people. Don't give them what you want to give them. It's much like having a wedding registry. Listen to people. Give them what they want. Notice when they say, no, thank you, I don't want it. How many of us would have less of somebody else's crap in our house if we had felt a little bit more comfortable in our nervous systems to stand up for ourselves and say, with love in our heart for ourselves, thank you, but no, I don't want your old couch. Thank you for thinking of me, but no, I don't want your excess clothing. Thank you, but no, I don't want your leftovers. Yeah. So this is why I consider myself a decluttering life coach, because decluttering is a life skill. To tune into what you want also helps contrast what you don't want. We were talking earlier today about like the what is it like to walk into a hotel room? The difference, the contrast. I want more of this hotel room, less Salvation Army thrift store. What is your combo? And I can help you get there. I show up for free and help you do these things because I think it's really important to build your muscles, to give you just a safe place to stretch those muscles of what do I want? And what do I want? And what do I not want? I've gotten so much better at that, and it really feels wonderful. It really feels wonderful. It doesn't feel bad at all. It feels really good to know more about yourself and what you want, and also listen to other people and delight them when you give them exactly what they said they wanted without them even realizing you were listening. It's kind of like being a fairy godmother. I did that the other day. I will share with you. Friends of ours were talking about Klondike ice cream bars. And so I said, hey, Bobby, what's your favorite Klondike flavor? And he's like, I like the chocolate on chocolate. You can't get them everywhere. So when I was at the grocery store, I happened to look through the Klondikes. Lo and behold, they had the chocolate on chocolate. I put some in there. And then I gave them to him as a gift. Listen to yourself like you would somebody you love. What do I want? And what do I not want? And let's help you get there. Now, I have to shift gears right now because, at least as of now, and I'm going to check, I have not received an email from my husband. Oh, we're getting better, but we're still not there. We don't have Wi-Fi at our house. So people, just so everybody knows, Beth Destination Decluttered here on TikTok, on YouTube, best place to even start your journey, your road trip with me, is destinationdecluttered.com and sign up for the mailing list. Okay? Yeah. Kate Kager is also offering you crane need stuff because everything is gone. Check locally for places collecting. Yeah, maybe the floods don't need it, but somebody can use what you have. But find out where you can donate those things. I'm going to change channels momentarily, okay? We're going to do a whole another hour of this. If you find it helpful to ask questions, to engage, write down the stuff that has helped you. Okay, I'm going to do another hour on YouTube, but it's going to take me a minute because I have to do the live on YouTube on my phone, which I rarely do. I usually have it set up here on my computer. So give me a minute, okay? And I am going to get on YouTube momentarily, but I got to sign off with you guys first, okay? So what I will offer is decluttering party. So YouTube live for the next hour, away for the weekend. And then Monday is decluttering party. We've got a bunch more decluttering parties and lives showing up. Okay, and I believe I can get on YouTube without internet. I'm going to give it a shot anyway, all right? And if not, I'll come back here to TikTok. But I think because I have the app downloaded, I can do that. But we'll see. Life is a big experiment, so I'm going to go experiment, all right? See you shortly. Bye.